Well, hello, fight fans. Welcome to another edition of Ram at the Fights. My guest today is a mixed martial artist that is now making a name for himself in the BKFC and just won his first fight. Uh, his name is Victor Rosas. Victor, how you doing?
Hi, man. Pleasure to be here.
Thanks. No, thanks for doing this. Well, first of all, congratulations on your victory. How was that feeling when you got your hand raised for the first time on BKFC?
You know, it felt good. Also, I will say, you know, I've been asked this question before. They're like, "Oh, how does it feel for your first victory in BKFC?" And I'm like, you know what? It doesn't feel like my first victory, in BKFC. If anybody watched the last fight that I had, they know that I dominated that entire fight. I 10-7 that guy in the first round, dropped him two times. And I think I won every round after that until the referee, stopped it controversially. And that outcome was even overturned, so it became a no contest. So actually, I don't
Oh,
have a loss on my record for that. Um, but unfortunately, they said they couldn't turn it into a win just because, that's pretty much unheard of. But right now, I am undefeated in BKFC.
oh, that's good. I didn't know that detail. Perfect, perfect. Yeah, I saw that fight, man, and yeah, you dominate that fight. A bit of confusion there at the end with the doctor saying yes, and then the referee stopping the fight.
Yeah.
Your eye didn't look good at all, and I was surprised you took the fight on we will say like in a short amount of time. It was just swelling or
Yeah. So my eye, my eye didn't look very good. Um, it was. I think he got a shot early on in that first round as well, and it went right into the eyeball. That was probably the only shot I felt from him during the whole fight. And after so many rounds, it started to swell up pretty good, and it did affect my vision going forward in the rounds. But I feel like my fight IQ and circling in the correct direction. After that round, he wasn't hitting me in that eye anymore. I did have a couple cuts, but that's expected in bare knuckle. It's the name of the game when you're not wearing any gloves. But like I said, I took it to him the whole fight, and I won that fight. And there was a lot of confusion between the doctors and the referee. From what my understanding was, there was the CSAC doctor there, and then BKFC has their own doctor that travels with them as well. And
okay.
so that's where the confusion came in. One of the doctors checked me and he said, "Oh, he's all good. He's ready to go." They let me go out there and fight. In between the fourth and fifth round is when the other doctor came over and he wanted to take another look at me and check the eye, make sure everything was good. So they kind of like were arguing back and forth, I guess, on whether I was good or not and if they should take another look at it. And that's when Beltran, was confused and just went over and stopped the fight. And
Yeah.
that's how that went down, unfortunately. But like I said, getting the no contest, it means a lot too because I felt like I was robbed during that fight. And no discredit to Beltran or anything. He's just doing his job. But that just sucks for me knowing what I did putting into that camp and then coming out and just dominating him the way I did, and then them kind of handing him the victory like that. So when they came back and told me, I think it was for my media when I came in on Wednesday before the fight for this Pachanga one. They said, "Oh, I want to be the bearer of good news and let you know that that fight's being overturned to a no contest." So I was like, "Perfect."
Yeah. Uh Back to your first fight. Uh you got your debut in a big stage. We're talking about Knuckle Mania. That's their biggest event. They got Mike Perry on it. When you got offered that fight, how you felt about it? Did you saw it as a good opportunity to display your talent?
Oh, of course. Yeah, when they offered me that one, and I was like, so crazy. Like, I had a title fight in mixed martial arts leading up to that one, and I had got injured, and so I had to end up pulling out of that one. Couple weeks go by, and it was a nerve injury, so it started to heal up a little bit. And I considered trying to get back into that one, but being mixed martial arts, getting my neck cranked on or anything like that, I it wasn't going to be good for me at all. So I figured, you know what, boxing, I think I can do boxing without really getting injured with that particular injury that I had. So when they offered me that one, I said, you know what, I can't say no to this. You know, like you said, huge opportunity on, you know, we're the biggest stage, the biggest card of the year. Mike Perry's on that card. It's the Knucklemania. I think Lorenzo Hunt was on that card too, trying to go for his third title. So it's a really big card. And my debut in bare knuckle, I was like, you know what? This is my thing. I got good hands. Let me get in there. Let me put somebody down. And I think I did put on a show. You know, it just unfortunately the way it turned out the way it did, but you know, things worked out at the end.
Man, speaking about your hands, that last fight, your accuracy, man, was on point. Like we're talking about more than 50% on accuracy, man. You managed your distance well. As I said, you were very accurate. Is that was part of the plan?
Yeah, I told the guys beforehand, the commentators, you could probably hear them mention it before that I was looking at accuracy over power for this fight. I wanted to make sure that I was really pinpointing a lot of my shots. And I did have to switch up my game plan anyways in this fight. I did score a lot of accuracy. It was like 55% on, I think, overall. And then depending on which stats you're looking at, I think I had like 50%, 49%, but they're still very high, almost doubling his percentage rate. And yeah, he threw a lot more punches. He was, you know, more active, but there's a reason for that too. I would have been more active, but I broke my hand in the either in the first or second round. I completely snapped my third metacarpal in half.
Oh,
And so I have this right now, and you can't really see it, but the bone is actually pressing up against the top of my hand
oh
as we
wow,
speak. So yeah,
man.
I just snapped that one in half, and then I also fractured my fourth metacarpal at the base. And my left hand, they said is good, but I tell you, my knuckles were hurting throughout the entire fight. Going into the fourth round, anytime I was catching him with jabs or hooks or anything like that, I was just in so much pain. But I didn't want to give up. I wanted to keep going, and I, I put as much output as I could at that time. But there was a lot of openings that I saw, a lot of possibilities. I feel like I could have finished my opponent, but just like not being able to throw that hand like I wanted to, or even being able to close it. So I couldn't close my fist. So even when I did throw it, I don't feel like there was a whole lot of power behind it at that point. And there is one point in the fight, you see, we kind of clinch up and I'm hitting him on the side, but I'm hitting him with like the palm of my hand like this because my knuckles are just totally done.
Yeah, and he got like speaking about the fourth round. I think that was the round that he probably looked a bit better. Your opponent. When you went to the decision after that disappointment on the first fight, when I heard split decision, I saw the car and I was going nuts. I'm like, what? I scored 4 rounds to 1. I don't know if you
Yeah.
agree with me. What was going through your mind when you heard split decision?
Yeah. In my head, I was like, same thing, it just kind of put me back into that position of that first one. I was like, come on, please don't tell me. I was like, I know I won this fight. I would say I would have it 4-1 as well. And a lot of people that I know had the same. There were some close rounds, like I said, just because output wise, maybe people are scoring on more aggression, like moving forward in certain instances. So, I could see maybe why one of the judges scored it his way. But if you're looking at the amount of punches landed versus amount thrown, I'm way up top on that. Like I said, my accuracy was at 55%. I was landing the harder shots. The only damage that he really did was I had a cut above my eye right here, and that was caused from a headbutt early on in the first round. Um, Not intentional. So being an orthodox fighter going in versus a southpaw, you tend to butt heads a little bit. So that happened early on, and I think I cut him at least like 4 times, with my fist. So I was putting some damage on the dude, but he's a tough, tough guy, and hats off to him.
Yeah, he was looking at his record, very experienced guy. Uh, so you talk. So what made the transition from MMA to BKFC was your injuries.
So, well, it was just for that instance. I'm not planning on stepping away from MMA at all.
Okay.
It was just an opportunity that came up, and I wanted to seize that moment. So that's what I've been doing. And then, they contacted me like 2 days after that fight in LA, wondering if I wanted to fight again. I'm like, yeah, of course I want to fight again. So I'm not going to turn it down. I would like to, as soon as my hand heals, I have options. So either I would like to jump back into an MMA fight, hopefully another title match. If not, then I'm definitely up for another BKFC fight. I had some thoughts going on in my head. I wanted to make some call outs for BKFC, but now I just have to, wait until this is figured out. I'm going to have surgery on next Friday to fix up the hand. And then as soon as that's done, I'm ready to go. They told me to take it easy, but I'll probably be in the gym doing some cardio, whatever I can, maybe throwing some kicks and stuff. Just as long as I'm not using my right hand, but I'll be working.
No, keep moving and keep sweating, man. And now that you said we were talking about BKFC, how big it's becoming. As you told me, you will accept another BKFC fight, and now Mike Perry is the face of the organization. He's boxing tonight. He's boxing Jake Paul as we're speaking.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor is part owner of the now of BKFC. So that so you feel kind of like it's like oh, should I go to MMA? But how big is becoming BKFC, because you're gonna have the spotlight, the money. If that like holding you up to it.
I wouldn't really say it's holding me up or anything, but it's like that's huge. Yeah, I think they announced his part ownership during that fight that we had in LA. But you know what? Also, speaking of Mike Perry, I just saw that he's coming out with his own promotion too, the Dirty Boxing Championships. If you heard of that.
Oh yeah, I saw it this morning. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
you
it's
know what?
punches and elbows, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I would love to do that as well. It's funny looking back at that. I was thinking about my fight because during the fight, I would say like probably in the third round, I when I noticed that my hand was broken, I was like, you know what? I wish that I could throw some elbows right now. And it would have been perfect. I had to stop myself actually from throwing at least two elbows that I can remember. Sometimes it is a hard transition, just like mentally you want to switch back and forth in there. But if I were to get involved with, that Dirty Boxing Championship, like that would be fantastic for me, especially like for anybody that injures their hand during the fight, you're able to adapt and switch over to those elbows. You have other weapons that you can use. And then even looking back at that first fight, when I dropped Alvarez off of that first punch, when I threw that jab and I dropped him, with the Dirty Boxing rules, I could have went over and grounded pound, and I think I would have finished the fight right there. So, I feel like I'm made for that sport.
Yeah, and then you don't have to worry about submissions or anything or working on the ground. No, you mentioned that. No, I read some this morning before I went to the gym. So yeah, sounds good. It will be another good spotlight because Mike Perry's on fire right now. Everybody talking about him. So man, Victor, I think overall that I wanted to ask you, where can people follow you on social media? Can you tell us the handles?
Yeah. So my social media on Instagram is VR7SD, keeping it simple. I think on Facebook it's like /SR88SD. I do have like, what is it called, like X now, but I mean honestly I'm never on it. But it's pretty much the same thing. VR7SD with the X at the end of it. But yeah, like I think Instagram I'm mostly active on. Any other social media platform, like I rarely get on there. But if I start getting more of a following on there, I'll probably jump on there a little bit more.
Oh, now that you mentioned X, former Twitter, I
Yeah.
was a couple of BKFC. I put up the results and stuff, and I can send you a screenshot later. But every time I was the last there's two fights when I put something about it, you have a lot of like a fan base, because I didn't receive any comment on any. When I put yours, people were
Oh, cool. Yeah, man. Send it to me. I'll jump on there and I'll follow you on there too.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Victor, thank you for the interview. I wish you nothing but the best in the future, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Good job, brother. Keep it going.
Thanks. See you.
See ya.